Y'all see the thumbnail? Today, I woke up and chose violence. Hey B, now that I got you, now that I got you here, do you have a moment to speak about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?
Man, get the fuck out of here with that.
Shout out to little bro B in the building. Shout out to everybody here rocking, man. Raider Nomad, Kyle Holt, Saints World, NorCal Raider Jesse. Today we're going to talk about it. We're not trying to create a divide that's already there, you guys. We're just talking about potential replacements if DC does not fit the bill this season, right? We already know going into week 3, the QB play has been at best average. You know what I mean? So we have to talk about it. We know Lamar Jackson's a free agent. There's some other big names out there. This is a great NFL draft class for quarterbacks in 2023. Right. So as Raider fans, we have to talk about it. And real quick, I got to say this, shout out to Ray the Tape for sending me this fire-ass gear redemption brand. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to everybody rocking out there, man. You already know. Shout out to Ray. Appreciate you, brother. I see everybody in the chat already. Digital Prez, Tim Jackson, Chowder. What's good, King? I see everybody's already putting their bid in, saying who they would want. Like I said, you guys, this is not a show to shit on Derek Carr. This is we about to shield over here. So we're going to talk about if we can't fix this mess this season, we're talking about potential replacements. Before we get into that, I know everybody's already asking about the Virgin Hotel situation. Look, we're not going to do nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? All we're going to say is we put on a hell of an event. And I can't say what we just found out. Let's just say this.
We sold it out. We sold out VIP. The place was jumping. There was no fights. Like everything, it was all love and good vibes. Like it was, we're bringing the culture. This shit kind of came out of left field. Yeah. But it's their loss at the end of the day because people like us, we're not going to stop. Like that's just how we are. It
sounds as though someone over there, you guys, had a hidden agenda. They didn't like our kind there. They put us in a nightclub. And they put us in a nightclub and said that why'd you guys have a nightclub environment?
And with being our kind, it's weird to me because it's like, bro, the Raiders have always been from a diverse culture, right? So are you saying you don't like the black and brown pride? Like what are you saying?
That's who we are. That's who I loved every Mexican flag that flew in there. I loved every Raider flag that flew in there. I loved every single individual that was in that building. Because guess 100%. What? Everybody all night hugging, handshakes, high fives all across the board. Not one thing went wrong in that building. Everything went right. Shout out to our Blackout family, man. Samoan, Cody, Black Sunday, DJ Mike, man, our boy John, King, everybody in the building, man. We had a hell of an event. And guess what, you guys? We already got some fillers already. Some people are already reaching out to us behind the scenes. So stay tuned. The Blackout party is not dead, you guys.
Hey, blackout for life, man. At this point, man.
Yeah, straight up.
We're not going to stop. This is just going to push us to grind that much harder. That's it, period.
Yeah. So you guys, the Blackout party is not deceased. This is only the beginning. We got, like I said, we got a few hotels that we're looking at right now, a few other, other options. Shout out to my brother in the building.
I was gonna say, shout out to Cody. Blackout.
Yeah. Hey, man, everybody doesn't understand the culture and what we bring to the table. You know what I'm saying? But I can say this, with the numbers that we brought to those people, there was no excuse as to why they wouldn't, not only home games, but come to us and say, we need you here every week.
From a business standpoint, it doesn't make sense. Like, And so this is why, you know, and I know we've kind of talked, we're not going to get too much into it, but it's like I feel like somebody behind the scenes is pulling the strings. Oh, so it's just one of those things. Like, we sold out. We sold out VIP. We sold out the whole shit. From a business standpoint, if I'm Virgin, I'm gonna want you there. Not only the, you know, like you said, not only the 7 home games, but yeah, for the away games as well, because it just makes sense. So I don't get it from a business standpoint, from Virgin's perspective. And so at this point, all I can point to is something, you know, potentially political, whether that be on Virgin's side or somewhere else. You know what I mean? And
so, we'll say this though. One thing we're not going to be upset about, you guys, is the great event that we threw, and we're not going to be upset about something that we can't control. So at the end of the day,
and I definitely want to keep it classy and keep it professional at all times, right? But at the end of the day,
Virgin, I feel you, bro. Facts. Facts. Shout out to Wade, minor setback for a bigger comeback. Factory outlet, and shout out to my wife with the black the fuck out. This is facts. Let's talk about this, you guys. So look, we know this, like I said before, this is not a Kardashian show. No. This is us talking, evaluating our team, and saying if this trend continues the way it does, because this is the first year that I'm actually seeing guys that have really, really supported DC to the extreme, finally saying, you know what, you guys, after 9 years, if this continues, this may be it. You know what I mean? So I want to talk about what we can do in terms of if, and mind you guys, a big if, because I'm hoping and praying that DC throws for 500 yards every week the rest of the season and we go win the Super Bowl. There's the only way you want, like the best way to win a Super Bowl is having guys that actually want to be here, right? But this is a contract that Zeke designed where we can get out of this quick, fast, and hurry this year. Yes, without a hiccup.
Guaranteed money.
There you
go.
No
dead money. I don't even think there's any dead money.
That's why I'm saying we have to speak about possible.
This is how I look at it. This is how I look at it. You know, before we get into this, is unless we go, you know, 11-6 or 12-5, and we make the playoffs and we get past the wild card weekend into the divisional, and hope at least into the divisional. If not, you know, into the AFC championship game, at this point, this season will be a failure because of all the shit show that happened last year, right? And the fact that we made it into the wild card. Yes, we did lose, but like bringing in the pieces that we brought in between Devonte Adams, the front office, you know, with McDaniels and everything else, if you're not improving upon that, then it's a L, period.
Yeah. So, and mind you guys, the season's very early. Like we're not giving up.
I still got faith in it. I still got faith in this season. Like
we got to look at it like this. So technically, we have
brakes. Let me pump my own brakes on that. You know,
technically, we have a game this Sunday that we should win on the East Coast, early game. Then we have Denver and Kansas City back to back. Those are two teams that we have to win one of those games. If we go 2-3 into the bye week, you guys, I'm okay with going into this stretch of our schedule where you have the Jacksonvilles, the New Orleans Saints, a lot of teams that we should beat, right? So we're okay. We're still very much.
Yeah, it's like after the bye week is a little bit of a softer spot of our schedule.
Yes.
And so if we can get this W with the Titans and get this W with the Broncos, and you know, even if we take the L to the Chiefs, and I'm not saying that we should, because I feel like our team is designed actually to beat the Chiefs, right? Yeah. But even if we can win the next 2 out of 3 and go into the bye week, and we're now 2-3, you know what I mean? And we're going into that soft spot of our schedule, like
we can possibly go on a run. But the thing is, good teams beat good teams. So you don't want to go into this bye week 2-3, losing to KC, beating Denver, beating Nashville, and then going into the south part of the schedule where you're so-called happy because you're supposed to win. You're beating teams you're supposed to beat, like the Arizona Cardinals. But I digress. Shout out to Kenny Mack, man. Win, lose, or draw, I'd still draft the stud QB. I agree. An O-line with the picks in the early rounds, yes. And I would say defensive tackle, but we did draft Matthew Butler and Neil Farrell Jr. At some point, you have to let these.
You still got to develop those guys. They're still young.
So at that point, I'd still go out and get a veteran at some point in the offseason to build up that defensive tackle room. Shout out to Iron Bay. Let me say this real quick. Yes, I don't care who I upset. Like, to be real, let me say this. I have to say this because Devonte Adams, we love him. If that upsets Devonte Adams, I don't give a fuck. Like you can go.
I brought that up in our last live, that last combo we had.
But bruh, if Devonte's upset, then go with him. I look at this point, bro. I want to win, and don't get me wrong. You don't never want to allow the best wide receiver to go, right? No. You don't never want that to happen. But if he's so upset, in which I don't see happening, but if he's that upset, hey, go ahead, shake too, bro. like this isn't about one guy. It's about the nation. It's about the team. Right. So, and mind you, I'm not saying to let Devonte Adams walk or trade him on a wild shit.
This is a business. This is a business at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, the Raiders need to put a good product out there on the field, right? Yeah. We've been losing for too long. And at the end of the day, it's good for the NFL if the Raiders are winning, because look at our fan base. Like, come on, dog. We've been supporting the team for how long? And how long have we been trashed outside of maybe 2 or 3 seasons? Like, let's be real. We deserve this as a fan base, and the NFL deserves it. A good product on the field.
I agree, brother. I think that Devonte wants to be a Raider, regardless if DC's here or not. He was born a Raider, grew up loving the Raiders. All I'm saying is, if he's at the point where he's like, I don't want to be here because DC's not here, then good riddance. That's all I'm saying. There's nobody in this shit bigger than the Shield. Not one. I am a Raider fan. I am not a player fan. Do I love Devonte Adams' game? Definitely. Do I love Waller's game? Definitely. Do I love Hunter?
And I do love the fact that Devonte wants to be a Raider, right? Like, it's been a childhood dream of his. And so let's not ignore that. But at the end of the day, like, we deserve to win.
Yeah.
There's nothing short of it. And I think that these guys know that, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I'm just hoping that DC can turn this thing around. And we don't have to have these conversations anymore, right? Period.
Let's get to the shits, man. Shout out to everybody here in the building. Wipe them feet, hit them thumbs up, you guys. There's a few guys we're going to talk about, a few lists that I have. I'm personally, real quick, going to go over the options in the draft, okay? So then we're going to talk about some veterans in the NFL. But right now, we're definitely going to talk about some guys in the draft. There's a few guys,
and you know how I feel about this. I kind of touched on this earlier when you and I were talking on the phone. My thing is, if you're not going to get the superstar guy in the NFL, right, that you draft a young quarterback that you feel fits the mold and fits the scheme, right, or somebody who you think you can win with. If you look back to the Seahawks when they did, when they were having those, when they won the Super Bowl and they were having those,
was on a rookie contract.
Those deep fucking playoff.
Now you just had Patrick Mahomes.
Right,
he got that big contract.
They didn't have a quarterback. They didn't have a quarterback that was strapping down the salary cap, right? And they had these guys on a rookie contract, and they were able to pay other guys in order to win, right? Yes. And now you see Russell Wilson obviously just got a fat contract by the Broncos, but when they won the Super Bowl at the end of the day, he was on a cheap contract.
Let me throw a few names out there, you guys. I know you don't really rock with college football like that. I'm going to say a few guys. CJ Stroud out of Ohio State, 6'3", 220-pound quarterback. He'll be gone by the time we are drafting. I know we're 0-2 right now. If we do shit the bed, I still don't see us. I still, at the worst, I feel like we can still be like damn near 500 team. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see us falling out of like we're going to fall out of that top 10 space. So CJ Stroud is not an option
unless we trade up at some point, but go ahead.
And that's possible. That is possible. You can package up DC if need be. I'm just saying we don't know how this shit works out. Bryce Young, to me, Alabama, 5'11", 197. To me, he's like a right-handed Tua. Me personally, I don't want Bryce Young. I'm not really a huge fan of his work. Not saying he's not a good player, but me personally, I don't really like his mechanics. And I just don't know if he's gonna translate to the next level. One of my favorite names is Will Levis or Levis. I forgot how you say his last name, from Kentucky, 6'4", 203 pounds. The guy has that prototype body where he's probably going to translate to the next level. I know he's a Kentucky guy, and I know a lot of guys are going to say, what, Kentucky quarterback? I think this dude, he has the body for it. I think he can be that dog. He has the arm strength. I think the only thing he needs to do in order to get better at the NFL level is his reads. He has to be able to go through his reads, his progressions.
All progressions and shit, right?
That happens in the NFL, but that happens with coaching. Coaching can get that. There's a few other guys. Tanner Mckee, coming out of Stanford, 6'6", 228. The guy is a monster as well. Shout to the Athletic. They say his strength is ball placement. I agree. There's some things that he can get better at as well, but that's another guy to keep an eye on, you guys. Tanner Mckee out of Stanford, 6'6". You can't really teach those kind of measurables. Real quick before I keep it moving, shout out to Rude Boy. Is it Carr or Tannehill biggest game of their career? Both 0-2 with big expectations. Ryan has a young back chomping at the bit, and Carr don't.
This is what I will say. I mean, it may be, I'm not going to say Carr's biggest game or Tannehill's biggest game. What we got to do on our side is they got somebody over there by the name of Derrick Henry.
Yes.
And all this motherfucker does is run up the middle. I had a homeboy of mine that I was playing Madden with, right? And this shit was pissing me off, dog. I was playing Madden. He was the Titans, I was the Raiders. All he said was, "My name's Derrick Henry, and I'm running up the middle." And every time this motherfucker would just run up the middle with Derrick Henry, and there's nothing I could do to stop him.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, this defense and these linebackers are gonna have to step up and contain him. I'm almost to the point where it's like, make Tannehill throw the ball. Make him throw the ball.
Yeah.
If you can,
but you guys, let's not act like Derrick Henry has not struggled these first 2 weeks of the game, like the season. Like Tennessee's offense and defense right now is struggling mightily. If you want to get off the ground and come up off that huge loss that we took at Allegiant Stadium, you have to bounce back against a reeling team. You thought we were reeling. This team is coming off a 41-7 loss to the Buffalo Bills. I think Derrick Henry had like 20 yards rushing on I forgot how many attempts. Like, mind you, their O-line is not as stout as it once was. Tyler, was it Tyler Lewan? I forgot how to say his last name, but he's a dog. I don't think he's going to play.
Their weapons on the outside, like obviously they lost A.J. Brown and they lost Julio Jones,
Yeah,
I know he's
they do have Treylon Burke, which I like him a lot. That was my number one receiver in this draft class. They still have a couple other options out there, but me personally, this is a game you have to win. And Rude Boy, I have to disagree with you, my brother. I think Jacobs is chomping at the bit as well. I think that he's pissed.
Bro,
we have not been running the ball at all.
I know all the Raider fans have been screaming like, why weren't we running the ball the second half? The first half, I thought Josh looked great, and I thought that our offensive line had confidence, right? And then we switched, in the second half and stopped running the ball and just kept passing, whatnot. But I thought that first half, Josh Jacobs was eating the clock up and had some nice, chunks.
It just totally went away from him. Totally went away from him.
It was weird. Especially when you got a 20-0 lead. Like, you want to bleed the clock out.
Yeah.
Even if they went down and scored, okay, they went down and scored. Doesn't matter. Keep time of possession on our side. Keep the lead. I don't know.
Shout out to Wade. What do y'all think about Deion Sanders' son? I love it. I think he has all the talent in the world. I don't know if he's ready for the NFL. I'll tell you that, but he's been having a hell of a time, playing down there with his dad. I'll tell you that. I don't even know, is he coming out this year? I don't know if Deion Sanders' son is coming out. Wait, I got to look that up. I don't think that, but I'm going to be honest.
I don't know.
He has all the athleticism in the world. He has that bloodline, but I don't think he's prepared and ready yet for the NFL. But, it is what it is. It was badass meeting you last weekend. Raider Nation Nomad. Shout out to my dog, Mimo. Hey, it was great meeting you as well, my brother. For real, for real. Shout out to you for coming out and rocking with us, man, at that legendary party, man, over at the Virgin. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody here in the building. But shout out to my dog, man. Shout out to the Nomads, man. Let me see. I think Mckee can crack Henry. Bold take. Shit. I'm going to be honest, bro. I think Derrick Henry, one leg of Derrick Henry will literally knock Mckee Robinson the fuck out.
The only thing that Mckee has to his advantage actually this time would be his height, right? Because at the end of the day, football is a leverage game, and a lot of times if you can get the right angle and get lower than the other person, you can take them down. Now, Derrick Henry is like a linebacker playing running back.
Definitely.
What, 200? I don't know how much he weighs. What, at least 230, 250 pounds, something?
252, somewhere around there.
I don't know what he is, but he's a monster. He's like one of the monstars from the old school Space Jam or something. You know what I mean?
No, he's a different breed.
Huge.
Yeah, 250, 6'3", 250.
Yeah, bro.
No. Shout. So, but look, he's already had this season, you guys, 35, I think 35, 36 carries. He only has 107 yards rushing with one TD.
Mind you, he broke his foot at the end of the season last year. I know he came back, I want to say, maybe for the playoffs or like one of the last games of the season, but he did break a bone in his foot.
No, he did, but this is Derrick Henry we're talking about.
Yeah, no,
you know
for sure. And he's had time. He has had time to recover obviously all offseason. So
yeah. But I don't
ever count that, I don't.
But this season, he's still fresh. 30, like I said, 34 attempts for 107 yards and 1 TD. But he's only averaging 3.1 yards a carry on the ground. So, hey, untouchable. Jeffrey Simmons isn't good, my brother. He's great. That's one guy that we have to keep an eye on. Shout out to Big Mike. This is all speculation and overreaction because I'm seeing a lot of people saying this. Shout out to my Planet Raiders brother. The Bengals aren't doing right by Burrow in terms of protecting him. Maybe he decides he wants to walk. Let me say this. That's not even his decision, Big Mike. They're coming off a Super Bowl.
That's very interesting, though. That's very interesting.
Yeah, I get that. But the Bengals would not allow him to walk at all. They will throw the bag at him. They're coming off a Super Bowl berth. Like there's no way in hell they allow. But you know what?
But what if they shit the bed this season?
They're already shitting the bed. But I can say this: if any franchise is dumb enough to allow that to happen, it's the Bengals.
Right. That part.
Shout out to Aunt, man. What up, Docs B?
What's up with my dog?
She said, check your IG for a bit of news.
Let me see. I'm gonna check it out.
I know that Scout just said that Merrick is back at practice. That is a very, very good sign. Shout out to Jorge.
The Titans have ruled the following players out: left tackle Taylor Lewin, outside linebacker Bud Dupree.
So Bud Dupree is out.
Bud Dupree is out. Outside linebacker Ola Andiani, and then DB Ugo Amandi.
Hey, I would just.
All I know is Bud Dupree. I ain't gonna hold you on that, but
Tyler Lewan is a great left tackle. So they're starting left tackles out. Bud Dupree, Bud Dupree is a dog. I love Bud Dupree.
He is.
The other two guys, cool. But
that's big, man.
That is big. That is big, you guys. And we're gonna break down that Tennessee Titans game at some point before Sunday as well, you guys. We're gonna break down matchups and all that good stuff. Shout out to Jorge. Would it even be worth it to draft a quarterback next year? We don't want Carr's cap to become a problem while we have a rookie quarterback playing.
Listen, if you cut Carr, there's no dead, from my understanding at least, there's no dead cap.
And this is like $5 million or something. It's a very low number in regards
to. The point is that extension that he signed on this offseason doesn't become guaranteed until after this offseason, right? Mm-hmm. Until going into next year. So essentially, you could cut ties with him at the end of this season, and what you said, $5 million, off the cap.
Somewhere around there. Shout out to Jorge.
I was gonna say, mind you, I hope DC crushes it and fucking gets MVP this season, right? But this is just early discussions that we're having. It's maybe a little too early.
Hey, in a perfect world, Jorge, right? We use that draft capital on some O-line. We get some more weapons on the defensive side of the ball, and what we do is DC has a hell of a year. He gets his shit together. And Stidham continues to develop behind him in the perfect world.
Stidham is not the guy, bro. Let's just be real.
I know he's not. All I'm saying is he knows the system. And if you don't have to use any draft capital on a quarterback, that's always a cool thing. You know what I mean? But he is not the guy. Facts. I think Vrabel is struggling as a head coach. Nomad, the crazy thing, brother, he is right now. But these guys, people tend to forget they had the best record in the league last year. The Tennessee Titans were the best team in the NFL last year until the playoffs did. Right, so let's not act as though Vrabel has not had these guys out there. The problem was they did not pay their star wide receiver AJ Brown. That changes the entire dynamic. Julio Jones,
he was a stud, bro. I mean, AJ
Brown, he's killing it right now in Philly. He's dog walking people. He's killing it for me in my fantasy. But Julio didn't really change anything.
No, he's older. I think he's with the Bucs now, right?
Yeah, and he's already been hurt, already missing games and shit. So, shout out to Mondo. Would you get Lamar for $250 fully guaranteed? This is something that we've been talking about.
This is the biggest, thing. I know we were going to talk about, some other players from the NFL, potentially, Baker Mayfield, which I wouldn't like that just because he's too injury prone and he's not an upgrade to Carr if you're going to be going and trying to get somebody that's already established in the league. With Jimmy Garoppolo, he does know the system, Josh McDaniel's system, but is he really an upgrade over Derek Carr? I don't believe so, right? And so at this point with Lamar Jackson, that is the only thing that's intriguing to me, right? It's like,
bro, look at these names, bro. Look at these. Literally, the only name on this list outside of Tom Brady, which we know he's retiring after the year.
Yes, he'll be gone.
There's not one name on this list that's better than Derek Carr. outside of Lamar Jackson. I mean, and you can debate the Lamar Jackson shit. I think he's more dynamic. I think he's more explosive. I think that Lamar Jackson brings that star quality to Las Vegas that they've been truly missing. Outside,
and he's a superstar, bro. Like, let's be real.
Former MVP.
And when it comes to fucking Baker Mayfield, they're not an upgrade.
Look at this list real quick, B.
If you can develop his passing, you know, outside the number, like, don't get me wrong, he's got an arm and he's
real quick. Listen to this list. Baker Mayfield, no, not an upgrade. Sam Darnold, not an upgrade. Jimmy G, not an upgrade. Teddy Bridgewater, no. Daniel Jones, no. Case Keenum, glorified backup. Mason Rudolph, no. Jacoby Brissett has been looking good with Cleveland, but no, he's not.
He's a bridge quarterback.
He's a bridge guy. Geno Smith has been looking pretty good in Seattle, but no, another bridge guy. Joe Flacco at the end of his career. Andy Dalton at this point is a glorified backup. Mike White, CJ Beathard, Kyle Allen, like this, all these names, the Blaine Gabberts of the world, all these names are, there's nowhere near a name.
So
hey, there's one interesting name I have to say, and people are gonna laugh at this shit. Gardner Minshew. I don't get me wrong. I don't think he's an upgrade, but that's an interesting name.
No, he's a bridge at best.
But Madu, that's the thing that you have to put like this. If it's smart business, right? If it's smart business for Mark Davis to go out and say, I'm paying Lamar that money because I know he's going to bring that and then some to Las Vegas. Then that's something you have to think about. This guy's a former MVP, you guys. You know what I mean? It's a total. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people think he's a glorified running back and he can't throw the ball and blah, blah, blah.
I'll tell you, got an arm. He just needs to develop his passing game. I mean, there's some games where he kills it though, bro. You know what I mean? So
running backs,
really, he always had, like, his number one target has been a fucking tight end, bro. Let's be real about shit.
Running backs don't win MVPs. That's it.
Right.
Shout out to Mike Downs. It's time to draft a quarterback. And this elite class coming out quietly, do not be afraid to change, Raider fans. How many more years do we have to suffer at being average or below average? And you know what's crazy, Mike Downs? This is the thing, right? We were going through our time period where the Marcus Tuisopos and Andrew Walters and Jamarcus Russells, right? We felt like when we drafted DC in 2014 that we finally had some type of stability. We had a young kid that was going to come up and bring some stability to the quarterback position. And he's been here for 9 years. Stability, that's the definition, I guess, of stability. I mean, he's been here. He's been our guy, but we haven't won anything, right? So is that really stable? No, it's the same guy. It's consistent. He's there, but has he brought stability to the quarterback position? With that, yes, a three-time, Pro Bowl guy, former MVP candidate in 2016. We can go about all the old accolades. We're talking about football right now.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it's not just the stats either. Like the 2016 season, he looked like the league MVP before he broke his leg, right? And I know these last few years, like, his stats have been, his completion percentage is on point, the yards and everything else looks good, but it's about in game, are you winning? And it's about the wins, bro. Like, at the end of the day, it's just about the wins. You know what I mean? So
that's what it's all about. Shout out to Robert, the triple crown of the nation, merch, content, and knowledge. Keep bringing amazing stuff, my brother. Appreciate you.
Hey, this is an interesting take because I don't know about about cap space and all that. But if you somehow did get Lamar Jackson as a Raider, it would be interesting to see Josh McDaniels and Lamar Jackson offense. That would be very interesting, very intriguing to see where that would go.
I got to say this though, and mind you, I'm not going to say that the end of his career, Cam Newton is Lamar Jackson, but I will say that Josh McDaniels struggled mightily in New England trying to turn his offense over to Cam Newton.
That he did, and that's a very valid point.
So I don't know. Don't get me wrong. Lamar Jackson's a totally different talent than Cam Newton at this point in their careers. But he's tried this. He's tried to convert his offense into a run-first quarterback situation, and it didn't work. You know what I mean? So, but I agree with you, Ed. Lamar is definitely a very underrated passer. Shout out to Armando again. I trade Carr and 3 first-round picks for Lamar. To be real with you, you know what's crazy? Armando, I wouldn't do 3 at all. I would give him DC in a first-round pick because you got to still pay him. But I would say this. I think, and y'all may think I'm tripping, I think Harbaugh would be salivating to get an actual pocket passer like DC.
Yeah.
I think right now, I think he struggles at times, still trying to deal with Lamar Jackson, that run heavy offense. I think they would love to have Derek Carr in Harbaugh's system.
They have a very run heavy first, and they kind of running back by committee, system over there, right? And so,
and there's always going to be a coach, you guys, that thinks they can fix somebody. You know what I mean? It is like there's always somebody, and mind you, Harbaugh is a run first offense. Like that will definitely help DC open up the field in the passing game. You know what I mean? So, but I don't know, man. And I see that. They saying if Carr, if we let him go, he'd retire. Hey, have a great life.
I brought that. I'm pretty sure the last fucking coffee and convo I brought that up. I'm like, if we decided to cut him, does he just retire at that point? Or if we tried to trade him, is he gonna be like, fuck that, I'm retiring a Raider?
Hey, great. Either way, it does. Look, like we said, in a perfect world, you guys, DC comes and balls out the rest of the season, and we don't have to talk about this shit no more.
Right.
But I'll say this: I think he would retire, and great. Go enjoy the $200+ million you made in the NFL. And do you think? Shout out to Primos. KC drafted Patrick Mahomes with their first round pick in 2017. Smith couldn't get them over the hump. KC wanted to win Super Bowl championships. Raiders need to do the same. Draft a QB.
The only thing I will say about
shout out to Primos, my dog.
Patrick Mahomes is a different fucking animal.
Oh, no.
That's like a generational fucking talent with the way he, his sidearm throws, throwing against fucking,
No, definitely.
Throwing the other, all the crazy shit that he does, bro. It's just like he's a generational fuck. And Andy Reid must have been scoping him out since college and knew what the fuck he was doing, developing him.
Let me ask everybody real quick in the chat, man. Shout out to my people in the chat, man. Wipe them feet, hit them thumbs up. All I need is a simple yes or no, you guys. If we do not win this season, if we do not win at least one playoff game, if we don't win one playoff game, do we move on from Derek Carr? I want everybody else's opinion in the comment section. I want y'all opinions. Don't worry about me and B. I want to know. Okay, yes. Raider T.O. says yes. We were blinded. I love Carr, man, but he needs to step up. There's a lot of yeses. I see one no. Raiders 2739 says no.
Press said no. Press said no.
Real Carr says no. Raider Lux, yes. There's a lot of yeses in the building. Shout out to Alexander. We wanted Lamar. Ain't he a free agent next season? Yes, Alexander. But these guys can still throw the franchise tag.
Yeah, they can still tag him. But he could play hardball with them, and
definitely. But if we have something to bring to the table with them, if DC said, you know what, fuck it, I'll go over there. You know what I'm saying? And we gave him some draft capital, why wouldn't they?
Right.
If Lamar says, I don't want to be here, I don't want to do this shit anymore, and the Raiders, Mark says, here's that Brinks truck you want with all that guaranteed money. Why couldn't we make something shake? You know what I'm saying? Baltimore's going to tag him natural. I agree. I think that they will.
I do agree.
I do. And I don't even think that Lamar Jackson is going to be an option, you guys. This is just something that
this is all hypotheticals. Yeah, at the end of the day, we hope DC balls out. I hope this motherfucker gets MVP and takes us on a deep playoff run, or if not, to the Super Bowl. That's really what I want, and to really shut us up and shut these talks down, right? Like that's really what I want.
Facts. Okay, well, Jonathan, let me say this, right? Okay, if what you're saying is right, my brother, okay? Shout out to Jonathan. I'm going to read this. 6 different playbooks in 9 years. Shit is hard. So let me say this. As a Raider, or as a Derek Carr and a Raider fan, right? Jonathan, which I assume you are. Wouldn't it be fair to allow him to move and get somewhere else that's so-called more stable where he can actually win, right? Like if you're a Derek Carr fan and a Raider fan and you realize it's not working for us, it's not working for him, isn't it in both of our best interest to say, DC, go win somewhere else and let us figure out our situation? Like at what point do we just meet in the middle and say, DC, you're not getting it done? Go somewhere else and try it out. We're not getting it done with you. We need to go another direction. What is the problem with thinking like that?
Well, and this is the thing. Like, you got to realize that extension that he signed, even though he signed the extension, the fact of the matter is that, that little caveat where we can cut him at the end of the season and cut bait if we want to. That's Josh McDaniels kind of putting him on the hot seat. You know what I mean? Putting Derek Carr on the hot seat. If I'm Mark Davis, I'm bringing in Josh McDaniels for at least a 3 to 4 year tenure, right? And I want to give this guy an opportunity to bring in a winning culture, right? And so he probably does like what he sees from DC, right? And he probably likes a lot of the things that he sees from DC. But at the end of the day, Josh McDaniels, if it's Carr or him or his job, he's not gonna sink his own ship.
Not at all
on a quarterback that's
especially in
playoff situations, bro.
Especially with an offensive coordinator that has won with multiple quarterbacks in New England. You know what I'm saying? No, all those Super Bowls were Tom Brady, but I'm saying he won games year in and year out with like the Jacoby Brissett's, the you know what I mean, the Matt Castles back in the day. Like there was a lot of different names that these guys went through and still won some games.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That had more success than we have with DC as our guy. Right. Shout out to Erica, salute Dox and B. Do you really think? No. I do not think that Josh McDaniels is holding DC back at all.
What I will say is I feel like he did look more comfortable in Gruden's system, right? And in calling the audibles and the pre-snap adjustments. I do feel like that. I don't feel like he looks comfortable, bro. Like I don't know if it's just the system or what it is or whatnot, but
look,
I do feel like he looked more comfortable last year, bro. I mean,
it's different when you're in training camp and you don't have guys literally trying to take your helmet off, right? Like, you know, we heard that he was like 7 for 7 with TDs in training camp, no INTs, and then you go week 1 and throw 3 of them. Like at the end of the day, you're actually playing against real comp now. Shit is real, and you're definitely still learning the system. But I'm not putting that on Josh. I heard those excuses on Twitter where people are like, oh, well, they're saying, I don't believe any of that bullshit. Right. I don't believe none of that. There's no way Josh McDaniels doesn't say, that's your offense. Go out there, command that shit. Yeah. I don't see that. I really don't. I don't. Shout out to Erica family. You already know. I don't believe that. I don't believe that shit. Yep. Shout out to Alexander. I see them drafting a QB and keeping DC next season to have the replacement develop under him.
A lot of his money becomes guaranteed at that point.
Well, I'll say this. It depends on where we draft. If there's not a quarterback that you feel can really come in and really change the franchise's trajectory, then you have to look at these free agents. And there's not one free agent outside of Lamar Jackson that can change what we got going on. So I agree, Alexander. At the end of the day, I think DC will be here another year. I really do. I truly do. But you're right. If there is a quarterback that's there, right, a sneaky guy that's still on the board that Josh thinks that he can bring in and change shit, he's going to go get him. But I definitely agree with you. I think this is not the last we see of DC. I think he sees year 10 as a Raider, and then we go from there. But I
think honestly, I think we turn this whole thing around, bro. And even though we've started off 0-2, bro, like this may be it's either going to be the best or worst thing that happened to us last week, right? Either the team is going to show grit, grab their fucking nutsack, and we're going to start winning some games. Or it's going to be the worst thing to happen, like, you know, what happened a few years back, against the Reds, or what are they now? The Commanders, Redskins, or whatever. I know it's a whole different situation, whole different fucking front office and everything else like that. But it's like, bro, if you get hit to the ground and get your fucking dicks in the dirt, like you got to pick yourself back up, bro, and show that grit, bro, and fucking
whole lot of dick and balls talk. I hear you, B. Shout out to everybody here in the chat, man.
I'm just being real.
Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. Bosby says, Dox, it sounds from the last 3 Carr press conferences, it sounds like Derek is trying to do things exactly the McDaniels way and how he wants it done with no wiggle room. But I didn't see Bosby. I don't think so. I don't think so. To be honest with you, DC, well, you know what? I can't say that DC sounds like he's actually echoing the same sentiment that Josh McDaniels is saying, right? It does sound like he's kind of just repeating, like, we have to learn how to win. We have to learn how to win. And blah, blah. But at the end of the day, man, fuck all that. Just go out there and play the game. Just go out there and play the game. Like, all you have to do is do what you were doing in the first half of the game last week, and we win. Like, that's it. Like, I think Josh.
It was the tale of 2 halves. That whole game was the tale of 2 halves. Like the first half, I was like, oh yeah, we got this W for sure. It's gonna be a whole nightcap, you know, to cap off our whole weekend, right? And then all of a sudden we shit the bed, kind of how Virgin did. You know what I mean?
Let's see if. But this is what I'm saying, though, Bosby, right? Because I think Primo said DC has no dog in him. That's when you have a quarterback, right, that comes out and says, look, man, we're fucking up. Like, we're fucking up. Like, I need to get my shit together. The O-line needs to get this shit together. The defense can't give up a TD and a 2-point conversion at the end of the game. I don't give a fuck how long they were on the field. That's where these quarterbacks come in to play that have that dog in them. That's not going to take no shit. You know what I mean? Like, we need somebody that's going to hold this team accountable. Right now, the coach ain't doing it. Right now, the offensive coordinator ain't doing it. Right now, the quarterback ain't doing it. But I'll tell you one person that is, Devonte Adams. Devonte Adams is doing it. He said we need to snap their necks pretty much at this point.
Thank you.
There's one guy that came in.
Killer instinct. I want somebody with the killer instinct, bro. Period. Yeah. I want somebody with that. I'm not saying DC's not a good person and not a good leader outside. And he probably is a good leader for the team, right? But at the end of the day, you show that by putting the product out on the field, bro, and getting the W's, period.
Shout out to Primos. Everything has changed. Wide receivers, O-line, defense, coaching, water boys, team location. But one thing remains. We ain't won shit. It's just facts, brother.
Fuck.
And it hurts. It hurts to say, but that's
that, bro. I fucking hate that.
I mean, but you know, we did come off a playoff berth, but you're right. We didn't win shit. That's facts. Shout out to Mondo once again. If Lamar goes to Miami, is Tua a better option than Carton? I don't want anything to do with Tua.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't.
Too injury prone, bro.
Not even just that. His arm is just the most weirdest shit in the world to watch. Like, it's weird, bro. Like, it's like it looks like he throws a pass as hard as he can possible, and the ball don't go anywhere. Like in certain instances, and then sometimes he'll just fling it. Like, Tua is a weird guy to like wrap your head around. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to really break down his game. It's like one play he's this, and the next 4 plays he's that. He's inconsistent. I'll just use that. You know what I mean? The team
he's not proven in the NFL, in my opinion, yet.
Yeah. Shout out to Mex. This team needs to wake the fuck up. No more BS. I've been patient right now, but if we lose again, I'm gonna lose it.
That part.
It's my brother. Fact.
Bro, we lost our shit last week, man. I've been in the last 2 games. I know I've said this on multiple occasions, but I know after the game last week, we lost our shit, bro. Like, come on, y'all. Like,
shout out to Daniel. Facts. Patrick Graham is good, but Lombardi sucks. Mike Lombardi, even him in his pressers, it's just like, come on, bro. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, I don't even want to go back to the DC through great comment. It's just like, bro, like, if he did, we would have won the game. Like, stop that shit. But Graham has been, look, even him going prevent in that second half pissed me the fuck off. You know what I'm saying? Keep your foot on the gas, man. Keep your foot on the gas.
Shout out to Roy, man. Shout out to Roy. It was nice meeting you, brother, last week at the game.
Yep. Shout out to Roy. Shout out to Roy. Let me see. Shout out to everybody here in the building. Lombardi doesn't even call the place. We know that. Jonathan, we know that he is he's a dummy. And I don't mean dummy in regards to the real, but he's a crash dummy. Like he's our, how do I want to say this? I don't want
where you going with this, big bro? I don't know where you're going with this. Wild Turkey said, B, would you please just stay? Oh, I'm staying home, bro. I'm not going. I'm not going to any more games or putting any more money into the Raiders until they start getting some W's. Period.
I feel like Lombardi's our puppet. Like he's just Josh McDaniels' puppet right now. When that O ain't doing right, it's easy to blame the so-called play caller. But Lombardi, we know this. He's not calling anything. He's not. He's Josh McDaniels' puppet, bro. It's just simple as that. Shout to Scott now. He says, guys, wake up from your dream. Carr earns $30 million a fucking season for not showing up.
That part.
This is facts. Well, you know what? I can't say not showing up all the time. He's just too inconsistent.
Well, you know what? Last year, I will say this. You got to give credit where credit's due. He's the one who held us together last year through the whole shit show and the whole storm. But
was he? What? Wait. Was he?
Bro, I mean, he
so we're not going to give Rich any credit besides.
Oh, I mean, yes, we're going to give Rich his credit. Don't mistake that. I'm just saying, bro, like, he was a fucking inaugural piece or a centerpiece to keeping things afloat as we going through a fucking interim head coach and, you know, losing Ruggs and, you know, all this.
Well, you know, I can agree in a sense, right? But I have to say, though, and this is no more bashing him, the last 5 games of the season, DC did not play well at all. Don't get me wrong, we won. So that's all that matters to me.
Hey, that's all that matters, right?
Finally established the run game at the end of the season to sneak into the playoffs. Right. That was great. You know what I'm saying? And DC balled out the first 4 weeks.
That Colts game was like pivotal, bro. Like that Colts game was very pivotal.
Facts. Shout out to Josh Jacobs, came through those last facts, 30. Shout out to Raider South. Docs, you and I have always tried to speak our minds when it comes to DC. But Carr needs to become the Raiders' ordained minister for life. We need to move on from him if we lose this Saturday. Yes, Renfro is out, you guys. I think Keelan Cole will definitely get a lot of burn this week. And I'm hoping to see him out there because I like Keelan Cole's game. You guys know me. I've always talked about how high I've been on Keelan Cole's game. I think he's going to come out and ball out. I think he can play that Mac Hollins role from last week if he gets enough touches. I think that he's a sneaky wide receiver on his roster. I was shocked that nobody grabbed him and had them on their active roster, right? Alone practice squad. Like, that's crazy to me.
Right.
Shout out to Mike Downs. Docs, Derek Carr is a better male. We need an alpha male. Our quarterback history in the league shows us that we will always subscribe to you. Shout out to my dog, Mike Downs. I appreciate you, my brother. This is not a show, you guys, where I want to sit over here and shit on DC. I think I did that enough last year. I think you guys know where I stand with Derek Carr. I don't have to continue to bash him week in and week out. Like last year, I let it be known how I felt about Derek Carr. This year, I'm just kind of trying to just stay the course and say this is our quarterback right now.
Again, we started this show off saying that it's way early in the season. We're pumping our own brakes. This is a very early. It's way too early to be, even talking about this really, right? Yeah. But it's just we're looking at the free agents next season. We're looking at the draft class for the quarterbacks, and we're just saying, hey, what if? What if?
And mind you, guys, we didn't mention not one better option outside of Lamar Jackson unless Tom Brady decided to come back at age 82. Bro, could you imagine letting Derek Carr walk or retire and we bring in fucking Baker Mayfield, or fucking Sam Darnold? It's terrible. So there really ain't any better options out there. I think at the end of the day, you keep him this year and next year and you go draft someone and you figure it out. You know what I mean? Shout out to Slippin' Steve, man. Does the car have a blown head gasket? Time to go. Look, man, it's week 2. It's week 2. I'm going to say this, you guys. I'm expecting DC, but I said this last week. So, hey, if I'm wrong again, I'm wrong again. I expect him to come out and know the severity of this game. I blame Josh McDaniels for everything week 2. Everything week 2. To go away from the run game in the second half. Like I said yesterday, little bro, I don't know, you weren't here.
No.
I said the problem was Arizona, right? They made all the proper changes at the half.
Adjustments.
The problem was we made adjustments that we didn't need to make. We should have just Josh McDaniels should have went to that locker room and said, whatever y'all did right at the first half, we're just gonna do that. That's it. Just do the same shit. That's it. Don't make any adjustments.
Right.
Run the ball when need be. You know what I'm saying? Open up the pass game. Do what you need to do. The problem was he overthought the situation. You made some adjustments that didn't need to be fucking adjusted, and Arizona made all the proper ones. You know what I'm saying? So, they started blitzing on the defensive side of the ball. Like Arizona did everything right in that second half, and we totally just shit the bed and did everything wrong. Now, don't get me wrong. There was still some plays where Arizona gave us a chance to still take the game over.
Yeah. And that's what I feel like for both of these last 2 games, like we more so beat ourselves than the other team beating us. Yeah. Right. Even with the Chargers, bro, like we played like shit, had all those turnovers. Khalil Mack was fucking us up, fucking up Derek Carr. But at the end of the day, the fact that we only lost by 5 points?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like we're beating ourselves.
24-19.
Yeah. So 5 points. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like we're beating ourselves more than the other teams are actually beating us. I feel like there's still a really high probability that we can get like this team to gel and start winning some games, bro.
But I'll tell you this though, you guys. Shout out to Big Mike. Let me read this real fast. I'm not going to ever bash him as a person, which you shouldn't. Don't know him like that. What I can say is that he's wildly inconsistent, and if you don't agree with that, then you're not watching the same games that we're watching. His highs are elite, and his lows are XFL MVP. Frustrating. Hey, Big Mike, I think you need to use that in one of these Planet Raider columns that you're writing, brother. I think that is a dope ass analogy right there.
Right.
His highs are elite, his lows are XFL MVP, and it's frustrating. Wow.
Oh, fuck.
That's cold. Let me see. Shout out to Marcos real quick. No more excuses for DC. He was practicing with Adams off season. He could play like trash. Hey, Marcos, I don't even know what to say anymore, brother. All I know is this. If he doesn't come out this week and ball out, I'm telling y'all now, even the DC over believers are going to have their pitchforks out. I'm telling you now, if we go 0-3 at this point, and he has a bad game, and you guys are still screaming he's a top 10 quarterback right now, I feel like at that point you want to have sex with this man. Like you know what I mean?
Pause.
No,
pause.
Like real shit. Like no pause. I feel like that's real. Like
double pause. What?
Point, like you really are still going to bat for him after going 0-3, having Devonte Adams, the O-line playing after they played really good in week 2, and they're going to continue to develop and get better. Right. At this point, you just have a sexual fascination with this dude. Like it's totally like it's not even football related anymore. You just think that the eyeliner is gorgeous. You know what I mean? Like, pause. I'm just saying, bro. Like at this point, you know,
what the fuck going on here? Nah.
You know, he said, "What the?"
I'm just saying. Nah, I don't know, bro. I think we can turn it around, brother. I really do. I think, you know, like I said, bro. I think
the show today. Oh shit, man. We're just here to shoot this shit, you guys.
We gotta pump the brakes on the car. You feel me? He just needs to tune up. You know what I mean? That's it.
Nah, we need the oil change, tune up. We gotta fix the brakes, all the shit. You know what I mean? Hey, Docs, I'll do it this weekend and week out. Let me see. I'll bash him. You know why? Because he sucks. I'm not gonna say he sucks, man. Look, Downs. I'll say this: he had 250 yards and 2 TDs last week. He didn't suck. He just wasn't good enough. You know what I mean? And a few audibles here and there changed the dynamic of the game. You know what I mean? Like, so DC was in his head a lot. You know what I mean? And I don't like that shit, bro. Like, go out there and play your game. When DC plays his game, just like Mike said, like he could be elite.
Right.
But when he's off, he's fucking off. And that sucks, bro. It sucks. Walt says car is average, no intangibles. Let me see. What do you say, man?
Tell sis I said what up.
B said what's up. She said what's up, bro. Somebody in the chat said my wife really thought he was wearing her eyeliner. That's fucked up. Let me see. Think about this. In the NFL, we can say how inconsistent, you know, DC has been. We can also say how inconsistent his coaching staff has been, the front office. We can say all that, right? We can go back to all that.
Right.
1 year he put up a 12-game victory. He put up 12 victories, right? In 2016. Mm-hmm. Up to that point, the most wins we've had is 10. Like at some point, you have to just say, all right, man, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like when at what point, you guys, do we have to say, okay, our quarterback definitely has to play, we have to place some blame on this guy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that we can blame the coaching staff. We can blame the playbook. We can blame the front office. We can blame the offensive line. We can blame the defense. But at what point can we say, all right, you know what? Got to throw some of this shit on Derek Carr. You know what I mean? Like, let's just be real. After 9 years, like somebody, let's just be real, you guys. We have to say, okay, even if you say it's minuscule amount, you have to say that he plays a part in this shit.
He hasn't looked. I mean, he did have some statistical years where he looked good, you know, like I said earlier, but he just hasn't looked like that MVP caliber quarterback since that season when he broke his ankle, bro. Like, and I don't know if he's just like, you know, scared when he starts getting rattled or what, but you know, I've talked about this before where I hate when he throws the ball to the dirt on a third down. You know what I mean? I'm not feeling that shit, bro.
Hey, he said it's Deuce's fault. It's Deuce Gruden buff ass fault. he in there lifting buses and shit. And you know what I mean? We out here taking L's, man. Shout the Raider way. Let me see. He said stat padding. Shout to Sharif. Why people don't understand that?
Right.
You know? But I'll go over this list one more time, you guys. I'll read this. I'm going to read
the shit list. I'm going to call it the shit list, y'all.
No. This is the draft prospects. Okay?
Okay. I thought you were talking about the quarterbacks that are going to be free agents that are already in the league. I was going to say the shit.
CJ Stroud, Ohio State. I'm not big on Ohio State quarterbacks, but I do think that CJ Stroud will be different. I don't think he's going to be on the board whenever we draft, and I don't know if we have what it takes draft capital-wise to trade up unless DC does agree to go somewhere else. I don't think that that's even an option. Bryce Young, I'm not big on Alabama quarterbacks either. 5'11", 197. I'm kind of cool off that, and I think he'll be off the board as well. Will Levis, you know what I mean? That's a name to keep an eye on, you guys out of Kentucky, man. I think this dude, if he falls to the end of the first round or potentially somewhere in that second range, 6'4", 230 pounds, that's definitely a guy to keep an eye out on. Him and Tanner Mckee out of Stanford, 6'6", 228, has all the measurables in the world to get it done. Big body guy. That's a name. And also there's another guy, you guys, that I didn't mention, Anthony Richardson, Florida. Shout out to the Athletic for having this list right in front of me. Easy calls. 6'4", 240, another guy that has all the measurables to get it done. I think Anthony Richardson may be a sneaky guy out of Florida as well. Other than that, you know what I mean, there's a couple other sneaky names, but I mean, only time will tell. It's still early in college football right now. So there's going to be some guys, you know, that may come out of left field. I like another guy, but I don't know if he's going to translate at the next level. Tyler Van Dyke out of Miami, Florida, 6'4", 225 pounds. And then I don't know if Spencer Rattler is ever going to make it at the next level, to be real. To me, he's all hype. And then we can go back to these shit ton of names, bro, that we have. The Baker Mayfields, the Sam Darnolds, the Jimmy G's, the Teddy Bridgewaters, a bunch of bridge quarterbacks on this list. Part. Daniel Jones, Case Keenum, Mason Rudolph, Jacoby Brissett, Geno Smith, Joe Flacco, Andy Dalton. There's not one name that you can get better with
outside of Lamar Jackson, in my opinion. If Josh McDaniels feels like he can develop him in his system, which is unproven, like we spoke before regarding the whole Cam Newton shit show that they had up there in New England, but it's still intriguing, right?
End zone. That's another name to keep an eye on, because I know I don't want to go back to this shit. It's only week 3, but yes, this is facts. The only way you keep Devonte Adams happy is if Derek Carr leaves, is bring in motherfucking Aaron Rodgers to win a Super Bowl at the end of his career. There you have it. I'm sorry. If Devonte says, DC, if I can't have you, it is what it is.
I don't see Aaron Rodgers leaving Green Bay, bro.
I definitely do. I think they're going to have a shitty year. You know, they have a bunch of rookie guys over there at wide receiver, a bunch of mediocre guys. You know, I mean, I like Christian Watson. I like some of those options they have, but they're not ready yet. And I think right now, Aaron Rodgers is like, I want to win now. He's on the way out of his career. You know, he's on the way out. Like, this is the twilight. Actually, fuck the twilight. This is literally about to walk.
You're now into the twilight.
He literally has one leg in the casket at this point. You know what I mean? His NFL career. So that's definitely a guy to keep an eye on. Shout out to Max. I like DC as a person. I do too. Definitely love his you know, his faith, love that he's a family man, love everything about Derek Carr. But sometimes I think he just plays scared. Not sometimes, most of the time. He wants to win, but doesn't want to shed a little blood for it. Max, that's a definite great assessment, my brother, and I definitely agree with you. He doesn't have that dog in him like he did before 2016. This is facts. But sometimes he has glimpses of it. You know, remember like last year in Dallas, he showed some signs of still being hungry.
Right.
Still being hungry and making those runs, using his legs. Even against the Chargers.
I would like to see him run a little bit. Like, he's not an unathletic fucking quarterback. He can run. He just doesn't run. He's more comfortable in the pocket. But, like, he's athletic, bro. He's not the fastest dude. He's not the most athletic, but he can still run. I don't know why he's not utilizing his legs more often.
No, this is facts. But, you guys, I'm going to say this because I know we're coming up on an hour. It's not over. It's week 2.
That part.
I know that. I know. We take a lot of flack for these kind of shows. And to be honest with you, I'm with all the shit, so I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I'll take all of it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But I have to say that, you know, we have to talk about every aspect of our team. A lot of people try to stay away from the Derek Carr talk because they don't want to lose subscribers or this or that. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to be real with you. I love the Raiders. I spent a lot of time. I invested way too much into this shit, just like you be fucking you had tickets, fucking season tickets for years. You know what I'm saying? Like the money we spent on this team is astronomical. So yes, we're gonna talk about how we can fix this team.
Between the merch, the tickets, season tickets, fucking gas, food. You could just, shit.
Yeah, it's insane, bro.
For them to put out a shit product, come on, dog. You got me fucked up.
But you know, I definitely can see. Yeah, there you go, Julio. I like that. Dox will bash DC with his own jersey on. This is facts, bro. Facts. You know what I'm saying? I wore DC's jersey in week 1. You know what I mean? Like, I wore it in week 18 last year against the Chargers. You know what I'm saying? Like I did that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to give this guy some credit. But at what point do we say, come on, dog? Like, what the fuck, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even want to talk about that, Eddie. 0-5 is not an option.
Nope. We're gonna at least win these next 2 out of 3, and hopefully 3 out of 3 going into the.
If we can go 3,
if we win the next 3 games going into the bye week, we're gonna be having the fan base and the team is gonna be having a whole different feeling.
Yeah.
Even if we go 2 and 3 going into the bye week, it's still gonna be a good feeling. But if we win these next 3 games, dog, and going to the bye week beating the Chiefs, oh dog. We're going to be having a whole different conversation.
And think about this, you guys. This is what's so big about these next 3 weeks. We're playing 3 conference games and 2 divisional games. All these 3 games mean something at the end of the season. Tennessee, Denver, Kansas City, 2 divisional games, 3 conference games. These are mandatory W's. You got to get at least 2 of them. Point blank, period. Raider Room, I got my redemption brand stimulus package. I'm telling you right now, I guess all I had to do was throw the call out there to Raid, and I checked my mail today, and boom, I got my redemption shit. So shout out to Redemption Brand, man. Definitely some dope shit. I'm definitely going to wear this today, man, in and out of the house. Definitely, man. Shout out to my guy, Raid. I hope we smash the Titans convincingly. Raiders win by 17. Let's fucking go. I hope so, Augie, because if we don't, bro, this can get
W. I just want
I'm telling y'all now, if we lose in a terrible fashion and Derek Carr looks bad, I'm telling you now, the pitchforks are coming out. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Bleacher Report, anywhere you can have a fucking comment section, I'm telling y'all now, the pitchforks are coming out for our starting quarterback. I'm telling you. It doesn't matter if Derek Carr shits the bed and we lose this game, there's no holds bar at this point. I'm telling y'all now, motherfuckers are coming out. Kardashians, everybody's going to echo the same sentiment. Because if you don't, then you're not a Raider fan, man.
That part.
I don't care.
With that being said, let's hope he has a huge game, and let's hope we crush these next 3 weeks, and fucking we can move forward from this kind of conversation, and let's put good vibrations, good frequencies out there, and let's get these W's, man. Let's go out there and fuck up the Titans, bro. I'm sorry. Like, let's make it happen.
Factory.
No more.
Let me ask you guys real quick before we get out of here. I want everybody in the comments section, give me a score. What is your predictions for Sunday? I know we're going to do a breakdown. I know we were supposed to do it last night, but we got the news about the Virgin stuff, and I'm gonna be honest, we did not want to go live. The energy was just down. So but we'll be back. We'll be back rocking with it. We're gonna do a full breakdown on the Raiders Titans, but I want your guys' opinion. Scores. Put them up so I can put them on the screen on the way out. I want to see what you guys are calling it. All right. Won't end even if the Raiders reach the playoffs. Jerry West, you may be right. Bass has it 30-7 Raiders. Big Mike, 20-10. Cam, 20-10. Jamal, 30-14. Daniel got a 21-20. Eddie said, fuck it, 100-0. 17-7, so a low-scoring game. And I heard it may rain out there. So that may be right, Erica. 27-17. We have to have a big offensive day. I think it's time to finally put up 30-plus points. We have to. With all this excitement around this offense, you have to blow the doors off this reeling defense. Harold Landry's out for the season, you guys. They're hurting right now. Bud Dupree is out. They're hurting. There's no reason. With Tyler Lewan out, Chandler Jones better have 2 or 3 sacks. All that contained shit on the edge.
Out
like motherfucking Trout, like my brother says. Michael, 24-20. I'm here for it. Primo says 45-14. Offense comes out firing on all cylinders. Defense holding up. I love it. Julio says 7-6 Raiders. No hype for this game.
Hey, bro, it's just win, baby. That's it. If we get the W, I don't give a fuck. Just win, baby.
I don't care if it's ugly, but I do want to see this offense blow the doors off this defense. 35-14, Ryan. I like that. 24-3. Alex says, okay, I like this. John, 23-20. Reese, 23-19. Shout out to my dog Raider Rich. 9 years and 7 different systems for Carr. Best year was with Del Rio. Year 2 playoffs. Best year recruiting, year 3 playoffs with good to a decent offense. Name one QB who's had success with this much change. Raider Rich, I'm not going to do this with you today, brother. I love you. I appreciate you. And I thank you so much for the $10 super. But I'm not going to do this, brother, because I'm going to have to do this with you every damn show. I'm not doing that. Because you know what? I fought like tooth and nail last year over the same comment. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to continue to fight the same battle year in and year out. I respect you, my brother Raider Rich. You know I love you to death, King. I refuse. Shout out to you, my guy. Big Tone, 17-13. There we go. Can't ignore Tannehill's record against the Raiders. Yes, he has definitely smoked our boots in the past, Chris. This is facts. Yeah, facts. Lewis says, because you can't dox, I don't want to. Because even if I do, it's not going to be enough for you. Shout out to Lewis. Adams, 2 TDs. I'm here for it. 6-2 Raiders. Operator says 6-2. So okay,
two field goals and a safety, huh?
No, fuck it. 3 safeties to their 1. Hey, bro, I'm not gonna sit here and do that. Like I said, bro, I'm not gonna argue. Look, it is what it is. All right, facts. Cool. Oh, you got it. Congratulations. Shout out to Raider Rip. Thanks for asking.
Hey, I appreciate that. Thanks, man.
Bro, why do we want to go through that? Because all we're gonna do is sit here for a whole nother fucking hour.
We're not doing that right now.
And everybody's gonna be debating this shit. We're not gonna do that.
We're not doing that.
35-10. Okay, there we go. On the way out, man, I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't even want the Derek Carr shit to even keep going. Appreciate you guys, man. Like I said, we were doing this show just to basically give you guys some options for those who aren't familiar with these college guys coming out. And who was
familiar with the free agents.
Yeah, and some free agent guys. So, there we have it.
That's what we were early on this shit. We are all aware of that. So we're pumping the brakes on the car. And and that's it.
Car will be here for the foreseeable future, you guys. This is facts. Raider Rich, I definitely did, and I definitely gave a lot of
Erica. Hey, if we get the win, I'm with all the cigar smoke.
Erica, facts. Tell you and the hubby we need to all meet up again like we did with Mitch at the Hero downtown Dallas. And we got to get some stogies. This is facts. Yeah, man. Hey, Redemption Brand, go support one of our own, Ready to Tape. Also, shout to NorCal, my brother. Go grab some of our merch, Oaklosvegas.com. And shout to my dog NorCal, whatsinwhiskey.com. Go grab you a bottle, man, from the GOAT. You know what time it is. Like I said, you guys, we know Carr is not going anywhere. He will be our quarterback for the foreseeable future, and I hope he wins us something this season. With that being said, on the way out, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. We outro, man. 1.